I now call upon the Minister for Employment, Productivity and Industrial Relations, the Honorable Agni Deo Singh, to make his contribution. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Deputy Prime Ministers, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Ministers and Assistant Ministers, Honorable Members of Parliament, viewers and listeners, Bula Vinaka and good morning. I rise in support of the 2024-25 National Budget delivered by the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Honorable Professor Biman Prasad, on 28 June 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, I acknowledge the Honorable Minister and his hard-working team for presenting a well-structured and balanced budget that aligns with the government's goals. Mr. Speaker, sir, realizing the theme of the budget, an economically stable, secure, and sustainable Fiji, it defines what is needed right now to improve the fundamentals of our economy. It is a priority-based budget aimed at meeting challenges, reducing huge government debt, sustaining growth, and enhancing resilience against future economic shocks. Mr. Speaker, sir, the budget aligns with our national commitment to the UN SDGs, and the budget narrative also supports my ministry's strategic priorities on meeting national and international obligations through SDG 8, which is to foster sustained, inclusive, sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Mr. Speaker, sir, my ministry's vision of decent work and sustainable employment for all derives from SDG 8 is closely aligned with the budget. The theme to promote decent work opportunities, ensure safe and healthy workplaces, ensure productivity and continue to encourage good faith employment relations and enhance social justice in Fiji for economic stability and sustainability. Mr. Speaker, sir, decent work provides citizens with stable, well-paid jobs, improving living standards and economic security, fostering stability in society. This will help build a truly inclusive and sustainable Fiji where economic prosperity is shared equitably. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry has been allocated a total of 21.3 million for the next financial year, more than double the current budget. We are thankful to the government for this increase. Let me outline, sir, some key initiatives supported by the budget. The National Employment Centre. Mr. Speaker, sir, we thank and acknowledge the Australia and New Zealand support through the Buvale and Duabata initiatives. Mr. Speaker, sir, selected low-skilled and unemployed Fijian workers under the PALM scheme now can take their families to Australia through the Family Accompaniment Pilot Program from August 2024, fostering stronger connections and addressing social impact of long family separations. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry's employment reform will continue to significantly contribute to increasing in remittance and improve living standards of Fijians under the scheme. Workmen's compensation. Mr. Speaker, sir, on workers' compensation, the Ministry has been allocated 6 million for no-fault compensation scheme to facilitate employment and school accidents. The Ministry has taken over the processing of cases from Veritas Limited starting from June 1, 2024, following a decision by the interim ICCF board. Veritas Limited managed ICCF from 2019 to 23, charging 75,000 monthly and 900,000 annually, sir. Mr. Speaker, government will be able to save approximately 1.8 million annually with the transfer of the workers' compensation functions back to the Ministry. Mr. Speaker, sir, in alignment with government's review on ease of doing business led by the Ministry of Trade, my ministry has reviewed the effectiveness of the general workplace inspections and audits as per the World Bank report of August 23 to strengthen risk-based inspection and audit provisions. Mr. Speaker, sir, 24 OHS technical staff have been assigned to implement the amended regulations focusing on high-risk workplaces and promoting proactive safety measures. Mr. Speaker, the coalition government has raised the minimum wage of $4.50 per hour from 1st August 2024 to $4 to $4.50 from 1st August 24 and $5 from 1st April 25. It took the previous government 5 years to increase the minimum wage rate from $2.68 to $4. Our government has taken 2 years to increase it by 25%. The facts are a bit, I know the facts hurt you.
Order.
Mr. Speaker, the 10 sectorial wages will also be increased by the same amount. So all workers will have their increases in due course. And this, Mr. Speaker, increasing minimum wage improves worker living standards, productivity, and contributes to a better nation for all. Shame on you for doing what you did for the last 18 years. Mr. Speaker, additional allocation has been made to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, the civil servants have been given a 7 to 20% increase, which is unprecedented without any job evaluation exercise, sir. They talk about, in the past, 2 to 3% would be given without a job evaluation exercise. Let me clarify. Whenever there was a job evaluation exercise, there would be a higher increase. Now, alluding to Mr. Hemchand's statement on the civil servant salary, sir, Honorable Chand, sorry, sir. The 2017 job evaluation exercise, which boasts of a 14% average, actually ranged from 3% to 40%. The lowest were around 3%. And 80% of the teachers received below 15%, and the 20% who received above 8, the 80%, the 20% who received above 15% lost their positions because they were re-advertised. Mr. Speaker, that is the truth. Mr. Speaker, I wish to reiterate this government that this government is truly a government for the people. The Botukola strike settlement, Mr. Speaker, is one of the key highlights of the new budget. I wish to laud the commitment of the coalition government accomplished through the efforts of my ministry. Mr. Speaker, today we have meaningfully touched the lives of 368 families in Botukola who were affected by the 1991 strike. Mr. Speaker, I wish to thank the National Secretary of FTUC, Mr. Felix Anthony, for assisting with the negotiations. We are all aware that they will be paid 10,000 in the coming budget and then 10,000 in the following year. Mr. Speaker, we have also activated the outstanding case of Master Tevita Koroi, the former president of FTA, who was terminated without cause by the previous government. And Mr. Speaker, this is littered with the history of the previous government. Many people lost their jobs because they were terminated for speaking up, like Mr. Tevita Koroi for his members. And this was reported to ILO, and now we are settling the matter, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, tripartism has been restored, and the ERA board is now reviewing the labor laws. The direct contact mission from ILO, Speaker, was overdue since 2019, has visited us in April and has given us a sound report. They're very happy with the progress we have made in the last 18 months. And I'm most happy to report, sir, that we are now off the blacklist of ILO that was there for the last over a decade, sir. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, our mediation team has been able to sort out 80% of the mediated cases that were referred to them with good faith negotiations. Mr. Speaker, our permanent secretary has now taken over the chair of the APO, Asia Pacific, and we are going to host the Asian Productivity Organization meeting in Fiji in October 2024. And this is going to help us with education and training. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to congratulate and thank my permanent secretary and the entire team for winning the 4 awards in the Civil Service Week and also the overall award for delivery for overall best delivery during the Civil Service Week. I thank you for the opportunity, sir, and I fully support the budget.
Thank you, Honorable Agni Deo Sin, for